How you guys doing today? Today is Monday, March 15th, 2021. I have 7 really good stocks for you guys today. We've had a huge run up. Absolutely been tearing apart the whole entire industry, right? The S&P's been killing it. The Russell 2000's been killing it. While that's happening, the QQQs are not really killing it, and that's okay. That's why we've been avoiding them. If you enjoy stonks, if you're a stonky boy, if you like the stonky memes and you like the mutual funds and the bonds and all this stuff, you like to do all that kind of stuff, I'm here to help. If you ever go onto TikTok, you go onto YouTube like you are right now, you ever go onto Twitter, and you're like, damn, how's that guy pick that stock? And then you come back a week later, you're like, damn, that shit tanked. No. And you're like, yo, how did he know it's going to go up? Or she knows how it's going to go up. The reason is technical and fundamental analysis. If you're a beginner and you want to learn how to use the stonk market to your advantage, I'm here to help. I will show you every single thing I look at to get into a stock. I have like 8 things. I look at supports, resistances, trend lines, patterns, volume profile. I look at RSI, EMA lines, vortex, and I look at the stochastic momentum indicator as well. Put all those together plus a nice price action, 10 nice good things. I'm going to show you in every single ticker. 70 examples overall, right? 7 tickers times 10. Gonna cruise through all of them, right? I'm gonna show you everything that I see, and it will help you guys shed light on this for yourself. What's great is this is an educational watch list to also be applicable. But again, you can take everything I talk about, find your favorite stocks on different time frames, and really apply this, and that's the whole goal. Intermediate traders who want to get more involved in diversifying, I always support that. Always a great idea. If you buy 10 stocks and they're all in the same industry, like I bought 10 tech stocks. Ooh, congrats, idiot! You bought an ETF. How'd that go for you? Not well, not the last week or so. That's okay. If you have 2 stocks and you have 50-50, all your capital's out there, reel that back in, big fella, not looking good. I will show you some great mid caps, some occasional blue chips, and some occasional penny stocks that you can really diversify with, right? We have consumer defensive, soybeans, we have some wheat stocks. Ooh, we have some really fun consumer defensive stocks, everyone's favorite, right? I'm gonna show you guys how to diversify properly and some different things you've never even heard of, right? Y'all never heard of Jill. Jill went up 80% in the last like 2 or 3 days, right? It's been cruising, right? If you were to look at APXT for an option today, you'd be up like 30%, right? We call stuff that no one else calls out because this channel is not full of BS. We're not trying to go for clickbait. I don't care how many folks watch it. What I care about is those who do watch it to get quality. With that being said, one more thing to mention is that if you enjoy this kind of content, you look at a guy who has a matching shirt to his hair, drip, you like this kind of stuff, definitely check out the subscribe button down below. It looks really pretty. You may want to, hit that real quick for me. So tap that subscribe button, tap that like button, tap that bell notification. How about that? Once you do all that, if you really enjoy the content enough, I am offering a 7-day trial into my Discord. I know. Everyone and their mom has a Discord now. But this is not your atypical, hey, here's going to be 15 calls a day, @ symbol, and blow. No. All right, this is a educational and support community, right? So you want to get in on folks with like-minded swinging ideas of who want to get in for 3, 10, make 7, 10% really quick and nice, and there's no stress. This is for you. And again, you don't have to join. There's absolutely no pressure. I'm not a salesman. I'm not going to come here like a car dealership and be like, what I got to do today make you leave in this beautiful Discord channel. Not doing that. If you want to join, though, if you really enjoy the content, it would be beneficial to you. Check it out. No big deal. 7 days, no credit card. My Discord name will be at the end of this intro or in the description box below. Just add me. That's fine. And I'll give you guys an invite. No problem. With that also being said, 7 great ones for beginners, 3 additional for intermediate traders. Without wasting more than 4 minutes, I'm right there. Let's get into it. So as you can see above me, we have our trusty poop list. Now again, we could change the name to something more obvious, but we are superstitious and we do not change things that are not broken. That's how we roll around here. We have 7. Good at math. 7, let's go. 7 great stocks for beginners today. Again, if you're an intermediate trader, the other 3 that are there, CRK, SDC, and TRN, I trust you. But beginners, I want to give you the heads up again. You should always take your glasses off from being a buyer for the first 7 to being strictly a learner in the last 3. With that being said, let's get into it. So our first one's ATHM. HM. Idiot. Auto Home Inc. Again, do your due diligence. It's always important to check the 1 to 10 year chart. 10 years, look at this. You know, it's been going up, consolidating, hit a new high, and now it's using this old resistance area, keyword area, I didn't say line, keyword area, as consolidation for reversals in this whole area. And so you can see it was a very strong resistance, and now it's holding. So am I saying that this is going to be an ultimate, will never break support? Hell no. There's definitely a chance that can get down into the 79s for sure, but this is a very safe bet. No obvious trend line up right now, but look at this. We have a really good area of support. It has a little red candle, so let's give it a day or two. Let's see where it's going to go. What's our risk versus reward right here? Let's say it all breaks down, everything breaks down. Now you have to make the decision of where, one, your support line is going to be, because maybe, just maybe, yours is going to be up here. You're like, well, actually, my support's a lot higher. It's already been broken. Sure. Maybe yours is a little bit lower. And you're like, actually, it's not even near support yet. Sure. There's no right or wrong answer. It's your choice. I put mine here just because of once, twice, easy, clear, that I tested it right there. You know, held pretty well. And so what are we looking at? All right, let's say it breaks down. Everything goes. You know, 7% is your worst case scenario. If a reversal is here, guess what? You see a short left, you just buy back in and you make 7%, you know, right back to where it was. No big deal. But you're talking about 5, 7%, 4 if you're a little bit more risk averted. Your POC is a pretty strong resistance. That's 6%. So again, that's about a 1-to-1. But this has a good history of breaking out to at least here, so it's a good 2-to-1 move. And if it does for a long-term hold have some good news, easily can make some really stupid numbers. It could do a really good GoPro move like we just had today, right? With the good news and people buying into it, ATHM could be a great pickup. Really good support, no trend line. It just had earnings. It had its first dividend in a long time, which is really cool. It's why I actually sold off, because dividends make stocks crash with earnings. So again, given that, it should come back pretty strong here. But again, you need to have a good stop loss. Let's check the indicators. What's really cool about my show educationally is, one, I am amazing. No, but I have not looked at any of these indicators. When I do this show, these are all live. I just go off a price action, then I can show you what I see with the indicators. Now, I do miss some, like 200 EMA bounces are pretty often happening. I miss those because of this, but again, by principle, I want you guys to see what I see live with indicators and show you how I process these things. So first thing is, it does respect the 200 mightily. It respects the shit out of it. And again, it does respect the 50, but it's not as strong as the 200. And where are they both at? Above it. So that needs to be curtailed to your kind of risk management and your reward management. A lot of folks will talk about your reward management. There's a reason. I'm going to take a pause here. There's a reason if you look at our list over here. I'm not going to even get into like I'm a genius. But if we look at all these ones I've called, GoPro did really well. ELP is growing. It hit our price target. It was a reasonable price target. EVK is still working. That's okay. GRNQ, price target, and Moonshot was hit, right? PGM was not one. PRTA, we called that a while ago. Funko hit our price target. And the whole entire idea, coming up to our price target, we can see that we're going to have a lot more success with a lot of these. That was good. Open is going to hit its price target soon. Let's see. Taste did its price target. AQST is hitting its price target. What I'm getting at is that when you set reasonable reward targets along with your stop losses, you have a lot more winners because you're not going to hold the bag for too long, right? So this needs to be brought into consideration, that you should really have your reward not being like, oh, well, you know, the reward's 141 and the risk is 3. No, your reward should be almost curtailed to this 50 EMA line, because if we can't get above that, what's going to happen? It's going to come up and hit this and it's going to die. So I would definitely put my price target somewhere around 104, at least to put a trailing stop loss, or at least even put a hard stop loss at like 103.50 and get your price, get your reward out. It comes up to here, it hits the 50, it doesn't live. You get your money to get back out, you can buy back in, right? So those are going to be resistances. That's a nice tidbit for you. You got to make sure you set smart price targets. It was just oversold, and every time it's done that, shmoney. So that's a good sign. And again, you would have capitalized already off of this, but it's still under 40. It's at 36. That's great. Stochastic is a dummy low and pointing north, curling up. You want to see that? Red volume is very low, and green volume is trying to take over. If that happens, we should see a run up of, a good amount of time. If we check how long the vortex is green for, so we look at that one down there. 10 days of green. Right here we had about 33 days of green. We have about, so if it crosses green and holds, we should anticipate, not plan fully. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, but it does go green. Maybe 10 days of a nice run up. So ATHM, a great pickup, but it only has a support, and the EMA lines will be resistance moving forward. Make sure your price target for what you want to take is curtailed to that, and you're not going to get greedy. Layla. So CLDR just had its earnings call, and it shit the bed. Now let's be smart. Let's be smart little cookies. Let's see. It had a huge sell-off, and what did it do? Consolidate, 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 consolidate. Did not make a higher high though. Over here, it had sold off. Look at this. Sold off, and then what do? Kept on crushing. Whatever do we over here? Selling off, selling off, selling off. So again, am I guaranteeing you this is going to be ground zero? I'm not. What I am guaranteeing is that we're seeing some life. This is life down here. Now we see also what kind of reversal we have here. It's a big old bowl shape. It's a big old bowl. It's a big old bowl. A lot of cups and handles here. A lot of big old bowls. So if we can see this slowly and show some life, you could be in this a month. You could be in this a month. You could be in this a month and a half. So if we do get caught, you have 4 or 5 options here. This is not a clear-cut run and gun to make a bunch of money. You could see this take over, 3, 5, 10, 20 days to reverse. We could also see it take off tomorrow if it breaks above these downtrends. You can see this downtrend is very obvious of where it is, right? Worst case, you can even hit this at 7% and get in, get out. It also may come down lower. There's a lot of options with CLDR because there's no strong trend line. That was broken, right? We had this over here. Obvious. It was broken. And so now all we have is a support area. But it's showing life at a very strong support. It used to be a resistance. Okay, it used to be a strong resistance. And again, you could make yours lower. Maybe $12 is a more appropriate buy-in for you, right? That would make a lot of sense. But right here, it is showing life. So we can see a reverse here. That's going to be good. But the longer that you wait, the more risk you got to take on. Because right now, you have to risk about 4.4%. But your first resistance is 5 away. So already off the bat, not a bad look. So I like it a lot. I want to see it for maybe a long-term play. If we can get 5-10% off it pretty quickly, I like that too. Let's check the indicators. So just like with ATHM, there's not always going to be setups, especially after the sell-off that we just had in the market. You're not going to have setups where you get a good deal and an EMA support. There are some. There's 2 or 3 in this whole list. I believe they're going to play a role like that. But we also know that this is not going to be appropriate or possible for everything, right? So we can see here the 50 is a very strong support. It holds it very, very well. So, right? So this is going to be a possible resistance. The 200 will be an obvious resistance going forward. If you want to wait for it to cross above both, you certainly can. But again, even if that's going to be the big resistance, which looks like it is, we're talking easily 9% away. You can get 7%. 2 or 3 days, get in, get out, bing, bang, boom. If it crosses above both of them on some happenstance, right, because you can see how it gets pushed down by the 50 and then crosses above both. This may be the case where it kind of comes down here and takes a while and breaks above it. You can do that too. But CLDR, was oversold. It's pointing north, trying to fight green. A lot of good stuff here. Hopefully it can bust up and make some good moves. But CLDR, I like it. Just make sure that your risk is tailored to how much reward you can make. If the most you can make is 7%, you got to have a pretty tight stop loss too. But CLDR, it's a good setup. Next is Huntsman Corp. I know Hun very well. Hun is like Cat to me. I've watched Cat for over a year now of just trucking along. So Hun, I know, is bouncing off the 200. Just from having the knowledge of the stock. It's definitely down here somewhere. So I will preface this with saying if it does come down to $27, I'm not going to be surprised because I'm pretty sure the 200 is somewhere down here. But I'm pretty sure the 50 is also where this channel is. And so if it does bounce off the 50, I won't be shocked. If it comes down to 200, I'm not going to be shocked. We can see that it is making somewhat of a horizontal play here, right? It's making a new horizontal channel consolidating. We can see that this resistance was broken recently, so that's going to be interesting to see if this actually is going to hold anymore because it did get broken once pretty hard, but it was a fake out. So let's see what it's going to do. Obvious uptrend. We consolidated over here for almost 3 months, and so it's been over here for almost 2 months. So there is an opportunity for us to get caught. And that's not really an opportunity, but it's definitely a chance that if you were to get in and buy at a bad price, like buy here, and it tanks, you could cut your losses with a smart stop loss, or you may be holding this for 30 days to see it get higher highs. But long term, Huntsman has a really good outlook since the pandemic hit to really show some life. I mean, it's had higher highs, all right. We have nice high highs, then here comes when the shit hits the fan, and then it came right back up. So, I mean, it was already kind of dropping down, but we're showing some life here. So, can it be lower? Yes, it can, but could also be much higher, surely. So, this is a very strong resistance. If we can break above this and get in this area, now it's a whole new ballgame, right? So, that's what we're trying to go for. Get in here, good value. We're going to try and risk, 2 or 3%, risk, 2 or 3. Right now, I definitely would wait a little bit longer to see what it's going to do. But you risk 2 or 3%, you can make upwards of 10, 15, 20 in a full move. Huntsman, good company. I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. Gee willikers, Batman. Who knew? Me, because I know the stock. So it's definitely bouncing off the 200 as always. It does bounce off the 50 though, and so we're right at the 50. If this shows life today, like let's say this candle right here, this wee baby, this little sweet baby, if this does hold right here and show some green tomorrow, yeah, man, move this here stop loss, this little red box. This is for my Patreon folk. You do move this up to here and say, there's your stop loss now, big fella. And now we've managed our risk properly. You're risking 1 or 2% to make 4 or 5. That's a smart play. It just had dividends. Dividends usually to a stock price dropping, right? And then it always comes back usually. And it's always a good thing for a stonk to have some divvies. So that's fine. The RSI's fair, but it's been on an uptrend, so it doesn't really get oversold. That makes sense. And again, it bounced off the 200, so the 200 is going to be its judge of when it gets close to the 200 for RSI getting low. So when it gets close to the 200, it shows that. So you have an option. Wait for the 200 bounce, which was recent, or wait for the 50 bounce, which is now. Stochastic has no life yet. It's just coming down, skirt, and once it turns around, be a good chance to buy. The vortex wants to stay green. If it can do that, that's great. If not, we're going to be consolidating for a while. So Hun, long term, snack. Right now, appetizer. Let's give it a little bit of time. But if it shows some life today at the 50, Daddy likes it a lot. Next is PRTS. Now, I would like to have seen a lower price for this, if I'm being honest with you. I like to see a stronger support area. Would be my show without me yawning. The reason is we can see this is an obvious downtrend. OVIOUS. I can spell. Sort of, I think. This is an obvious downtrend. But it's really not a channel. It's much more of a wedge. This thing will not see and see if it doesn't line up. But this does line up. Well, so we can see that this is a wedge. So this will not last forever. But we're showing some life here. Would I be shocked if it hits this downtrend line over here and dies? Not really. Right? So we're still in a downtrend. You got to be aware of this. But again, the overall movement is up. So it's not a freak out. But again, if we can wait for it to hit that resistance line and then, buy in when it comes down farther, not a terrible idea. I want to pay $14.88 at most for this basically. If I can get in a little bit lower, I'd be happy. But this is a really good uptrend. I mean, it had earnings. Okay. It's still getting slaughtered because of it. Can this easily see $12.60? It can. Can it easily see $10? It can. This is not out of the woods yet. But look at a full scale. Let's check it out real quick. All right, there must have been some good news recently that shot it up. Oh, this is doing pretty good here. And there must be a reason for that, so that's a good sign for the long-term hold if it's really going to be this strong. That's great. So I would wait. I'm going to personally wait a little bit longer. Okay, I want to get it into the channel at least, at least tapping the channel. It's about 4% away. If I can take out 4% of my risk, if I can get in down here, then I'm just going to do a 5% stop loss and I'm Gucci. If it all breaks, I'm fine. So PRTS, I like it. I just want to see a little bit better of a deal. Let's check the indicators. So just like the other stonks so far today besides Hun, the 50 and the 200 are very well respected, especially the 200. The 50 does. It bounces off of, but it seems to be bouncing more of the 200. That needs to be part of your risk management. If we're going to try and go for 8% here, 70 to be safe, and you want to risk 9%, that's a losing trade. So we need to decide. You need to decide. Do I want to wait for a better deal? Option A. Or B, should I do it now and kind of raise my stop loss to make it make sense? So if you want to do a stop loss at like $14.50, right? Maybe that makes sense because you can buy back in. That's logical. Or C, I want to wait for it to get above both the 50 and the 200. Logical. You have to have a plan. And again, it's a watch list show. I'm not saying buy all these tomorrow. This is not some beginner. This is the cornerstone of your new portfolio. New guy, new kid, right? No, this is definitely buy one that you like. So if we can wait for it to cross above the 50 and the 200, you will make money 9 out of 10 times, right? That's a good sign. And waiting is never a bad thing. It is consolidating sideways, probably for a big move. It could be lower. The stochastic is still yawning. Sorry. The stochastic is still pointed south, right? And it's taking its sweet old time. It's making kind of a triangle on the RSI. That's interesting. And then it's still red. If the green can break above it, that's a great sign. So the indicators are kind of mixed, more bearish. So again, I'd give it a day or two. But we can get in around 1450, 1460 for this bad boy. It's going to be A1 trade. So PRTS, I like it. Just give it a day. Ow. Next is Sale, like AWOL Nation. Sale. So I like this one a lot too, just because of that song, obviously. But this is a really nice support area. Now, is it a strong one? Me. It's okay. I think a better judge of a support is definitely down here, right? You can definitely say this area is a stronger support area. So I would definitely anticipate that being into play if it does break down. But this is still a really good one. A lot of wicks happen here. I'm going to assume there's not a lot of volume in this area. Let's check. Oh, who knew? So we have not a lot of volume here. That's why I see a lot of wicks. This is a strong support area. This is a nice big strong node. This resistance is a nice big strong node. I wish someone would tell me I had a big strong node. So we can see, that's funny. So we can see that it is wicking down. We can easily see a nice move of 5-6%. What you're risking here, maybe 2. If you want to wait for it to get down here, that's fine. But, last time it did that was once, twice-ish. So it's really far away. And then also you can see this is a broadening top. I don't know if this is mirrored correctly, but it's doing this. This is a pattern synonymous with one thing. This shit won't last. And so we can see that the last time it hit up here, do I reasonably, it could do it. But do I really think that Sale is really going to do this and go all the way up here and hit this again? I don't. I'm sorry. I know some people are going to be like, well, actually, you could check the news. It's pretty good. Okay, sure. Right? But if we're going to be realistic little boys and girls, do I think it's really going to make this in the next move? I don't. I really don't. Now, it's done 30% before, so I'm not discounting it out. But a broadening wedge, when it taps here, tells me that this is probably the last time it's going to hit reasonably. And so with that being said, I want to look for a new pattern to form. I want to see something else form. I want to try and connect some bottoms. We can see we have this right here. Is it actually going to make a falling wedge now? I don't know. But all I know is that there is no prevailing pattern besides that trend line. If you want to wait, that's great. I would even be remiss not to even do this and say that bada boom, bada bing. We have a lot more hits now. It's A1 right now, right? So this is a really good pickup. I like it a lot. Give it a day. Maybe it's a horizontal play. You're risking 4 or 5% to get 7 or 8, 9, 10. Long-term hold, probably really good. Sale, I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators instead of me bathering on any longer. Oh, look at that. A nice 200 EMA play. It does occasionally break it. No, it broke it for a second. So with it breaking it hard, should you be concerned? Yes, a little bit. Now, you shouldn't sell the farm on sale and be like, this sucks, I'm out. Right, because EMA lines are just another indicator, right? Would you not buy this because the RSI is a little bit too high? Not really, because if I didn't have the RSI turn on, I wouldn't really give a fuck about it. Oop, I swore. So, if I'm being honest with you. So, this is only one thing to worry about. It's not supposed to be the end-all, be-all. But now that it's above it, that's fine. Now it's below it, we should be a little bit nervous. So, you may want to wait for it to get above both these lines to really buy in. So, you either got to play the value, which I usually do, or you got to play a crossover. That's going to be on you to decide. It's fair on the RSI, which is a bit weird, but again, it makes sense that you're a nice 15% push up for it to maybe come down just a tad bit farther. But where it's at, you can see a lot of reversals happen here. Honestly, look back. You can see all the times it hits around this line here, it makes some reversals. So not overly concerned with that. Stochastic, again, saying it's going to pull back a little bit farther. That's fine. But even here, where I put the mouse at, a lot of reversals happen right here. So not overly concerned either. And it just went green. And when it usually goes green, we see usually about, this was 14 days. This one's a baby one. 1 day, that's not great. We have one over here where it went green for about 6 days. And it's a whole mixed bag. So, 3 to 10 days would be reasonable. So if we can stay green here for the day, maybe it runs up for another 3 to 10 days. But sale, price action is great. Just give it a day to either get lower on the value or to cross the EMA lines. But either way, I like it. So next is WEAT, which is a wheat-based ETF. So it's not really going to follow your typical supports, resistances, technicals as strong as fundamentals, but I really like the direction of wheat. It's really bottomed out 4. I mean, it really collapsed, right? So am I sold that it's really going to make massive higher highs? No. But again, when it comes to a deal on an ETF like this, I kind of like it. This short term, it can make some really good moves. I really like the direction of where wheat is going. You can even look at the FinViz scanner and see that, it's showing higher highs along with being, pretty beat down. Is there a timetable I can add to this bad boy? Yeah. So it's looking pretty good on wheat. Month-wise looks pretty good. So you want to do a long-term ETF. Wheat could be a good one. Same with soybeans. I like where soybeans are headed, ironically. But again, let's look at the indicators. But WEAT could be a good long-term hold for a fund. I like it a lot. Looks pretty good. So it's also around the 200 EMA line. It does break it, so maybe get down at $6.607. Then you can make a good 5-10% on a nice little swing baby. RSI is low. Stochastic is low. Vortex is trying to go green. So again, it's a good pickup. I'm not as big into ETFs or funds, but this one and soybeans, I'm pretty high on. So you want to do a nice long-term, more good beginner. You may lose 4 or 5%, make 10% over a long period of time kind of play. WEAT, I like it a lot. It's good for wheat and soybeans. I like it a lot. And then last is WTRH. Witter, right? Great name. We can also see it's kind of making a descending triangle. It's it's descending. And then it said, F you, I'm out here, nerd, and then took off. So this trend line was broken. But we have a nice long history right here of this nice trend line up right here. So I like that a lot. It's a super strong support. Does that mean that they can't break? No, they can definitely break. Do not get that twisted. We can also see, though, the run down to earnings. And it said, hell yeah, earnings, brother. And it took off for no absolute reason to just come crashing back down. So do I think it has plenty of reward? I do. Does it have a lot of risk? Not really. Right, if you want to be Mr. Conservative, you can let it cut up to the bottom of these 2 candles, call it 6%, which may sound like a lot, but your first real resistance is 12 away. Right, so that's pretty good. We can also see the trend line looks like, so you want to wait for a pullback, you certainly can. I'm fairly confident it's going to look like a D shape on the volume profile. Oh, who knew? Right, who am I, a genius? So we can see it's a D shape. Another little hidden trick for y'all who watched this far in the video. It's a D shape. That means that there's not much volume down here. Not many folks are looking to buy this down here. If I were to ask you, given this, what kind of buyers or sellers are going to be down here? A lot of bulls or a lot of bears? Bulls, right? Why would there be a lot of bears down here? Like, hell yeah, dog, let's short WTRH at $3. Sick, got him. Let's short squeeze. No. This is definitely a lot of bulls will be buying below the POC probably. Like a lot of folks are like, this is a really good deal. It has previous higher highs, right? So a lot of this would be a nice run up to the POC probably. At this point, it's 50-50. Who knows? But all I know is that historically looking, folks were willing to buy this bad boy at $350, $375, even at $415. Folks were willing to buy and sell this. So why would there be any bears down here is beyond me. So again, the volume profile also vouches for this, looking pretty good. Let's check the rest of the indicators. So again, it's below both the EMA lines. The 200 is going to be your nice point of contention. You see how it does bounces off the 200 like a pinball machine. So that needs to be brought into your risk versus reward ratio. It does bounce off the 52, but it seems to be timed more to the 200. So we're talking it maybe makes you 13% on one swing up. You got to risk about 4%, 3 to 1. It's pretty good. I like that. But if it gets above that, let's say it breaks above that, ooh, we're in the money, big fella. RSI was just low, and now it's showing some life. And again, to maintain price action and price structure, you want to see it show some life. It is overbought, though, on the Stochastic, so anticipate maybe a small pullback, and that's why I'm saying you either got to wait for value or go for confirmation. It did just confirm over the 10 EMA line, so this does hold. You either got confirmation or you got to wait for a crossover or value. You got to choose your strategy. It just went green. Now, it doesn't go green for all that long. 8 days, 6 days, 8 days, So it looks like we have maybe 5 to 7 more days of green. If we can't hold that and it breaks back to being red, we'll be again consolidating red for the next 5 to 7 days. So it looks really good, WTRH. I like it a lot. So if you're a beginner, congrats. Stop the video. Get out of here, nerd. No, you can definitely stay around for the next 3. A little bit more intermediate plays. You know, if you're not very confident, right? You're like, I got little baby paper hands. You should definitely wait to pull a trigger on these because something's wrong with all of them, right? Maybe they're a little bit too high for our previous price action, what we wanted to buy into. Maybe a pattern broke, but it's still a pretty strong trend line. They're a little bit hard to read. Why would you, this is my whole argument of why you shouldn't be trading QQQ right now compared to like the S&P or the RUT. Why would you be doing a puzzle of 100 pieces when you do a puzzle of 5 pieces with the same exact result? Who you proving this to? Would you want to be a big man, a big grown woman? You want to prove to yourself you can do hard trades? Why? Right? If these 3 are harder for a beginner, don't touch them. All right? You can make plenty of money off of the ones I just showed you in the past of this channel, right? Go with the easy plays, you know, do a little easy stuff, do a little channel, good risk management, and then you can come into big dog territory. So if you're an intermediate trader, let's continue on. There's 3 of them today. Not a lot of great deals. A lot of my stuff went green today. And a lot of them are just up there. So I'm not going to pay for anything that's not value. So 3 more. Beginners, change your focus from being Mr. Money Bags and buying stuff into Mr. Learning Bags. Quote of the day. Idiot. Stupid. So first is CRK. How I missed you, baby. Come home to me. So we can see that I don't turn off indicators during my intermediate if you're a new kid here. New kid. So because the reason is I go through them quicker and I trust intermediate traders. This is a very strong support area. All right, Comstock Resources. For the love of God, I called it 13, 12. I mean, I called it over here in this little area. I was like, hey, let the POC go long. And he would have been, okay, hey, go long. Okay, hey, here's here, go long. I called it like every other effing day. You wouldn't have made bank on it. And now we're up here. So this is a nice looking 10-year chart. All right, this is a rarity. This is a rarity. This in itself is a gigantic descending triangle. It's cuss word weird. It's super weird how consistent this bottom line is. That's why I was calling. I'm like, this doesn't happen very often. Please help me, God. And like, no one wanted to listen besides those who were here. Then you would have made a bunch of money on this 10-year chart. It was ridiculous. So we're above here again. Am I sold? No. Do I want to be up here? No. I want CRK to come back down to the 430s for daddy where I can abuse it again. But if this does hold, there's a high probability given the history. If this does hold, we're going to have a nice, massive move. I mean, we could talk about 30%, 90% it held here, 23, this whole move up here, 43. And that's the goal. That is the goal. We're trying to get from here to here. So it's definitely an intermediate trade. I mean, this is definitely not for the weak of heart. You know, this could easily collapse on you, you know, like your first marriage did. That's so mean. I'm just talking. So this may come down to the 200 test and then may take off. So again, CRK, the potential is here. It's huge, right? But again, I would rather it come down to $4 where I can abuse it again. But CRK, a good trade here for an intermediate trader. I trust you to make the right decision. I trust the risk management. Wait for the 200 bounce or the price action. It's up to you, but it's a good trade. So SDC would be nice if I moved the things over here. Wouldn't that be nice, everybody? That'd be nice for you and me. That'd be nice. Big idiot. I'm not even cutting this out. We don't do 2 takes. So this was our trade. I was like, it looks good here. And it died and it came back. We don't even need indicators for this one. And I'm going to keep talking over it. So this was a great price action play for like 8 months. It was beautiful. We all had a good time. Chuckle, chuckle, haha. But earnings beat the shit out of it. It wasn't good. Negative 13, 11. It's not done well. But we're right back here to this trend line. Do I think this trend line has a lot of volatility? I do. But is it a risky play because this thing is volatile? It is. This thing could lose you a lot of money real quick. But right here, it's a great buy-in. All right? Running up, running up, running up. Our first baby pullback. And then showing some green. I could definitely buy in here right after 11% and be content with that. So again, they broke the trend line, which makes it an intermediate play. Is this really viable? It certainly is. Is the support line viable? It certainly is, but you need to make your own because you could easily see that being the support area. which means we have a lot more room to run down. But you can also see that up here, right, probably about there, is your first resistance, but this could be your support line right about here. So it all comes down to preference of what you want to do. I like it there. But SDC for a intermediate trader to lose watch list for later, that's a great pickup. And next is TRN Trinity Industries. Now, why is this not 100% play? It should be really good. Because, you know, it's this trend line's broken through price action. Okay, well, it's okay. Okay, it's all right. And it's bouncing off the 200. But even then, you know, you're about 3 or 4% away from that, which means you have about 4% risk. And what's the reward, right? The first resistance is right here. You know, maybe it runs up a little bit. I just need another day. I need a day. Daddy needs a day. I need a while. I got myself online. Oh, my kids are gonna find that meme. We gotta wait for this to show I need some life. You know, I need something else. You know, I want to see it come all the way down, or I need to see it break this resistance. I need something. And we're between the 50 and the 200. So I'm gonna give it a day. I'm gonna give it a day. And if this does show life tomorrow, could be on the main list tomorrow, baby. I don't know. If it does break above the 50 and holds, could it be on the poop list? Sweet baby poop list? It certainly can. And so I'm not against it. I'm just not for a beginner touching it until I have a crossover or a really good value. But TRN for a intermediate to watch, yeah, it's the whole snack in a world full of appetizers, for sure. And there you guys have it. We had 7 really good stocks for beginners to play into, and then 3 extras for intermediates and for our beginners to learn from. With all that being said, if you enjoy this content, if you sat through a 34-minute video and hated every minute of it, I don't know what kind of self-masochism you're into to torture yourself like that, but hey, if you enjoyed it, try and like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. I would really enjoy it and having you guys around. We're pushing 4,500, will probably be 5,000 before month's end, or at least till mid-April. Really making some numbers. That's pretty dope. If you really enjoy the content, again, check out the Discord. Absolutely no pressure to join. I have maybe about 20 spots left open until I probably cap it off for the next month and let folks really develop the community and develop what we want to have there, and then I can let more folks in. So if you really want to check it out, 7-day trial is still open. If not, no big deal. You want to just have me online, that's great. With nothing else needing to be said, we'll see you guys tomorrow for another watch list. I appreciate you guys greatly. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.